The United Nations Climate Change Conference has opened in Glasgow, Scotland. Known as COP26, the summit brings world leaders together to negotiate a way to avoid catastrophic climate change. Opening the conference, its British President Alok Sharma warned that the summit is the last hope of hitting the target of keeping global temperature rises below 1.5 degrees Celsius this century. And he said the planet is changing for the worse. Scientists, environmental activists, and the United Nations agree that existing climate protection measures are insufficient.
I'm deeply concerned about the threat we are facing today. We want to survive in this world like our forefathers did, and we want our children to be able to survive in the world.
We should be involved in helping to reduce carbon emissions because we are the inhabitants of this land, and we are dealing with a global threat.
I think politicians won't act until things get really desperate. Our planet is falling apart right now, and we have nowhere to run. We need to solve the problem, rather than just stopping up the holes.
What I would tell those who make the decisions is that the solution lies with the young people, the new generations, implementing awareness policies about the global change.
Zara Steffen from DW Environment is standing by in Glasgow. Zara, as we just heard, younger generations want the leaders to take action. You cover the environment. Is there any indication that the delegates are aware of what young people are saying?
Well, you would certainly hope so, because school strikes for climate, Fridays for Future, most notably Greta Thunberg, they have been bringing up this issue for months now. And it's really the young generation who will feel the brunt of climate change in the years to come.
What's at stake, Zara, at this year's COP, and what are the most contentious issues?
Well, at stake is that this is our last best change to actually limit climate change to below 1.5 degrees Celsius as stipulated in the Paris Agreement. And contentious issues, most notably, are the issue of climate finance that is meant to help poorer nations to adapt and find climate strategies against already existing climate change. And another more technical issue is Article 6 of the Paris rulebook that deals with carbon trade, and that's really important to regulate the carbon market.
As you well know, many climate activists and many scientists are painting a pretty grim picture, essentially saying it's too late to fix the climate crisis. Is there one single thing they agree can and should be done now?
Well, I think it's never really too late to fix anything. I mean, studies say that even a tenth of a degree Celsius still matters. So basically, we should do everything in our power to limit it. And the best thing to do that would be just to stop emitting CO2, to stop burning fossil fuels, and to switch over to renewable energy.
That's Zara Steffen standing by for us in Glasgow. Many, many thanks. G20 leaders, too, have been focusing on climate change on the second and last day of their summit in Rome. The leaders visited the city's landmark Trevi Fountain, said to make wishes come true for those who toss in a coin. But many environmental activists are not getting their wishes. A joint agreement to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees leaves out any hard deadlines, and leaders also fail to come up with a deadline to phase out coal power plants. That means the hard work remains to be done at the COP26 summit in Glasgow. Let's cross directly to DW correspondent Barbara Vazel in Rome. Barbara, the G20 summit was supposed to send a clear commitment to climate protection. Have they?
They have sent a commitment on paper because they did or will produce one big headline. They say that they will underwrite the goal to limit global warming to 1.5%. What we just heard from Glasgow is the main point of those negotiations. However, if you look more closely at the final agreement or the final declaration that is now circulating here, you see that there are big gaps because the concrete commitments of the member states of the G20, those countries who are responsible for 80% of global emissions, the concrete commitments aren't yet there. It's easy to say, yes, we would like to limit global warming to 1.5, but you have to act and act fast. Countries like China, like India, like Australia are still sitting on the fence, particularly those, the big emission countries would really have to commit to a goal 2030, 2035, 2040 and so on. Very concrete steps. And that's what's still lacking. Maybe some of this will be filled in Glasgow, but it's not quite sure because some made noises here that show that they said, yes, in theory we're all for it, but in practice we need more time. We can't do it now, we'll do it later. So there is still a big mountain to climb. So whether the Trevi Fountain will make wishes come true is not quite certain yet.